Welcome to the Cinder Shire Devlog episode 4. If you're not aware, I'm making a video game. I'm converting a board game that I made into a video game so that I can get it into more people's hands. If you're not up to date, there's 3 other episodes, obviously, by episode 4. You can go watch those to see the progress along the way. This is basically just serving as a sort of historical and video archive of me developing this game. So the main things that I've currently implemented since the last video has been enemy movement, player turns, and a few little things here and there like UI improvements, and I made this cool little gold system for the tiles. So instead of dropping a singular coin, there's now a sort of invisible object until there's some gold there, and then as gold increases on that tile or that square or whatever, the gold object like physically increases how many pieces of gold are there. I'll show a little demonstration in the video portion. So for UI, this is the most sort of basic stuff. This was me just kind of moving stuff around, making sure it looks good. In the final release, I'm going to make this stuff a little more dynamic as far as like detecting the size of your screen, resolution, stuff like that. That's a little more simple than like getting functionality of like the attack tokens. Those are basically custom buttons that I made with code rather than using the actual button. Well, it uses the button feature, but it also uses code behind to do special stuff. So those buttons on the attack tokens are basically like toggleable buttons where you can turn them on or off to augment your damage for an attack phase or whatever, combat phase or whatever you want to call it. The enemy movement is pretty solid right now. It's about 90% complete. About 10% of it is edge case fixing. And I'm not too worried about these edge cases because the way I'm testing this would not be a real representation of the actual gameplay. As far as like, one, I'm by myself. So there might be like a little solo thing I add in where you can solo play through like some pre-made handcrafted challenges and stuff. But in that case, they're handcrafted and I can actually account for those edge cases. But on the core game is going to be multiplayer based. So having multiple people in there is going to fix a lot of these edge cases because like one player is going to be in a certain position while another player is in a different position. Therefore, the enemies are going to be going to different positionings. And also in my tests right now, the way I'm testing this, I'm just spamming the end turn button. And since there's only one player right now, it's not swapping to players. It's just ending my turn, moving the enemies, ending my turn, moving the enemies. And that's not how people are going to play the game. People are going to like end your turn, the next player moves, opens more parts of the dungeon, uses items, etc., etc. And then it comes back to you, you move. And like what I'm saying is like the player is most likely not going to be sitting in a spot in a corner for like 20 turns in a row without doing anything. For the multiplayer aspect or player turn changing or whatever you want to call that, currently I'm only testing with one player because I'm primarily testing the flow of the actual gameplay, like the game engine, like running everything. And currently it's working well. So like at the end of my turn, I click end of my turn, and then that moves all the enemies attempting to move one space towards me. Like I said in the previous part, there are some edge cases, so you might see some weird enemy stuff, but I'm actively working on figuring that stuff out. And as I said before, I think many of these edge cases are going to go away when you have multiple players actually in the game. This is pretty cool because this is getting to one of the first steps of like actually making it like pretty solid. Like once I'm done with player turns and that's like the main thing really left to implement before I can start adding like the really fun mechanics of like gear cards, consumables, and like some of the other stuff that I haven't really talked about much yet. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in following the progress of this game, like I said, this is sort of like a video archive of me developing this game. One for my personal interest of just, seeing the game progress and having that documented on the internet. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to continue following this, you can feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the bell, do all the good stuff like the video that gets it promoted. In 2023, I plan to have like a playable demo. So if you would be interested in playing this would probably be the place to, stay up to date on that, because the demo would probably be like free to play. And then as I begin to start thinking about pricing and stuff, when it comes to actually launching the game, I'm thinking about $20, maybe $15 to $20. But I'm also going to do something where eventually, when I start producing the physical copies of the board game of Cinder Shire, I'm going to package every physical copy of the game with a Steam code as well. So that's something that I'm really excited to be doing. I don't have a date for like physically producing the game yet because yeah, there's money basically, money and time, and other life sort of expenses at the moment. But thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I hope you liked the video.